Hi guys, welcome to the MERN Stack series. In this presentation, I'm gonna take a topic of how we can fetch data from MongoDB to React through Express.js. Here, I have already been connected with MongoDB. In previous tutorial, we have seen how we can connect to the DB and how we can insert a data in a MongoDB document here. Here, I have a list of document. So here, I have this document. I have to uh, fetch this data and I have to display it in the front end React through this Express. I take it as a backend. So let's get started here. Here I have to uh, make a route for this. For that I have to use a middleware called app.use. So here in this I'm gonna use a route here. So API you can give any path here. Gonna give task here, and we have to make a folder called in the backend you have to create a folder called routes. So in this route, and we have to create a file. So new file here, you can any name here you can give, and I'm giving user.js. So once you give this, and you go to this index.js. Here I go to this index.js. Here I have to give a path of the router. Mm, So here you can give any name. I'm just gonna give router user equals. I have to import the package. So we have to give a package of where the route folder is located. So here I have to give routes slash. So here is a user. So I have to give user here dots dot slash I have to give. So here I have to mention here. So whenever this URL come to this place, it go to this folder routes user. So I'm gonna go to this user.js. Here I have to uh, import the express. In the express itself we have a router method. So I have to import the express package here, recover of express here. So in this we have to create a router here. You can give any name here. In this I have a express called express dot router method. I have express dot router method we have, and we have to give a router here. So router we're gonna get the get we are getting the data, right? For that we have to use a get method here. So in this I have to give a subpath here. So in the get we have to give a path, and the handlers we have to use request handler. So here I gonna give the path is root. You can give any name here. I'm just gonna give a root path here. Here I have to give a request handler here. So I'm just giving get task. So in this I have to write a logic of this get task to get the data from the MongoDB. So for that I have to make a controller. So in this backend you have to uh, create a folder called controller controllers, and in this controller I'm gonna make a file called task controller.js. In this I gonna write a logic of the model which I have. So get task I have to write. For that I need this model. So in this model only we gonna write a logic. So to get the data from the DB, here I have a user. So for this, I have to fetch the data. Here I have mentioned this. In this model, I have mentioned this. Uh, Already we seen this schema I have mentioned. So model I have exported. So here I have to write a logic for this routes we have given here. The get task we have to write the controller here. So go to this and write a logic exports dot get tasks equals async function. So here I have a request comma response, and we have to give a arrow function here. So now we have to give a avoid here. In this I have a model called user. I have to give this user dot. I have to get all the data from the MongoDB. So I have to return all this. We have a method called find method. So the find method will fetch all the data, all the documents. It return all the documents. I have stored it in some variable. I just gonna give a task here. We can give any name. Next you have to response in the form of JSON. So here I have to mention the JSON, whatever the task I'm getting from the database. I store it in the response in the form of JSON format. So here I have to catch something. So I'm just giving try catch method here. So I'm just giving try here in the catch. So if it is any error, it will catch that error. The response in the form of the response status would be 500 if it is a server error. So in the form of JSON method. So in this, I'm writing error would be server error. So just do this and save this here. Go to this node, and here I have to import this get task in this route folder. So I go to this routes. I have to import this. So for that, const. So I have a get task there. Get get task. So here I have to import the required package. For this, here I have to give double dots slash controllers slash task controllers. Here go to this task controller, the models. I have to give double dots. So then I get into this user. So I go to that particular path. So I'm just restarting, and also I'm saving this here. I gonna save this here, and also I gonna save this here. So once it's been connected, we will check. So I got some error here. Router dot use. I have to export. So here the middleware function dot an object. So here I have to export this router here. So module dot exports equals this router should get be exporter. So I have to save this here. Once I save this, let's check if there is any error or not. So it's been connected. Now I'm going to check whether my response is coming with the JSON format or not. So for that, I go to this Postman. Here I have created a workspace. So I downloaded the Postman in my desktop. So once it's been downloaded, I have created a folder called in workspace. I have created a collection here. In this I gave MERN. Here I have to give a add request here. So give this add request. So in this, my method would be the get method. I want to fetch all the data from the DB. So I have to give a get method here. So it's loading. So here I have to give any title, get all data. So this is a get method. So I have to give a URL. So http colon double slash localhost colon, this is a DB which is connected to the 5000, and the root folder called, here go to the index.js. Here you can see, first you have to give localhost colon 5000, and if I want to access this particular task controller, I go to this particular part called API slash task. So you have to give this, what it will do, goes to this router user, goes to this for this file, and it see this get task and go to this task controller, and it will execute and fetch the, it will return all the data. So we will get a response back in the form of JSON. So this is what. So go to this app. So here I have to give 5000 slash API slash task. So once I give this, you will see some error. So I will let you know. So because I have to give, I'm getting the object, I'm getting in the JSON format. So for that we have to use express dot middleware called. So here I'm just using, so I already been given here. So app dot use express dot JSON I have to give. So my response would be come, I think so. So the 200, okay, my response, I got the response here. So let's, yeah, I got uh, the data in the form data in the form of JSON from this MongoDB. I have stored three documents here. I got all the data which I have stored in the DB here in the form of JSON. So for that you have to mention, if you want to get it in the form of JSON, I have to give this use app.use middleware. Okay, uh, let's go to the front end. How we uh, fetch the data here from MongoDB to the Express in the front end. So for that I use effect I have to use to fetch the data from the API. So I'm just importing the use effect here. So here I just call back function I have to give. Here I have to mention I want to load at the first time. So for that I gonna give here. Here I have to mention the here go to this and fetch data. So here I'm just writing the fetch data in const. I have to define this method. So for that, data fetch data equal async method I have to use here. So you have third party library called Axios, in which we are getting data from that API. So for that I have Axios. So you have to download the dependency called Axios, npm I space Axios you have to give, and for that here I have to get method here. So in this get method, what request I have to give, this request I get all the data from here. So for that I'm requesting this URL here. So definitely I will get a response. I store it in response here. So I'm console this response. So here I have to use a variable called some variable here in the use state. So I'm just gonna give uh, task comma set. task equals state of state. I have to import here. So here I have to give a array because I want to store all the datas here. So here I have to give set task response in the form of data. So whatever the response I'm getting in this res, here I'm setting the response into this set task, so it will automatically assign to this task. So I'm consoling this uh, the log here. So here I have to give response dot data and just save this and just save here. So axis I have once go to this, check if there is any error or not. So once it's low, so you can see here, once it's compiled, go to this code it's compiling. Here I have to, so here I go to this and I'm just loading here, refreshing the browser here. So I got the data or not. My requested URL, whether it's I got a response or not. So let's check here. So network error I'm getting. Yeah. If I go to this, I'm got a error because in the back end, if I give any request from the client side, the server should accept the my domain. So for that, in the index.js, you have to give you have to import cors here. So for that, app.use of cors method. So you have to uh, download this dependency. So here I have to import. Okay, just give this, and I have to again. I go to this cors. I have to, so cors equals require of, here I have to give cors. This is a cors origin resource sharing. So have to give this. So I have to also have to download that dependency. So here I have to, so still then we can wait. So we'll check whether my course is downloaded or not before my dependency is there or not. No, I'm not uh, get this dependency here. So here I go to this index.js. Here I'm just, so here, so the app is crashed and once again, so because I'm a course, I'm not getting a response. Control C, yes. Here I gonna give, npm I course. I have to install the dependency here. So once it's being installed, you could see here in the app package.json file. So now it will take some time, I think so. So here go to the front end. So once it's downloaded, let's see. And here whatever the data I'm getting in this task, I have to list the data. So for that I have to give uh, task. I have to use a map method here. Task. So it's installed actually, so let's see how. So again I'm just start the backend here. Once it's connected to the DB, let's check my front end is working or not. So I'll wait for this. So it's connected, and go to the this front end here and just refresh it. It's undefined. And just save this and go to the browser here. It's compiling. So go to the network tab. If there is any error or not, we just refresh it. So here go to the task. So I got the response. So whatever the data which is in this, I got the response. So in the header you can see. So this is a get request is okay, but it's not consoling here. So console.log get rate. Just response and just as a promise I'm returning fulfilled. So the whatever the data I got, this is the data in the database is fetched to the front end. So I have to display it this data. So for that I have a method called task. So here I'm give a task. So whatever the data in the response, I store it in this set task. So here it will assign to this task. So here I have to use a map method here. So here have to list that. So have a use a return statement here. So here I have to give dev. So in this I'm listing this object. So listing this one, and here I have to use a list, and key I have to index I have to pass. Here I have to give a key equals index I. So here I have to give assign to the constant here to store array value. So here whatever the value I'm getting, I'm store it in this constant. So once it's stored, I have to display it. So for that I have to use here array. So this is array value. Once I saved this, so I can able to see here cannot read the properties of map. So for this I have to use list dot name. suppose the name I want. So for that, I have to give list dot name. Here you can see. So what error I got? Cannot read the properties of undefined. So this is a HTTP colon 5000 API task I'm getting in the form of Axios. So use effect I imported, everything is okay. Response is not reading. Dot data here. Just checking. Yeah, I got some error. So type error, I'm got type error, map reading map. So I done some mistake here. Div I'm returning this div in the list able to show and check whether is any error or not. Here, yes, I have given this task and use effect I have given fetch data async. So I have to give await. So that's why I'm getting this error. So once I give this and save, and now you can able to so once it's so I got all the datas here. So in the user data I got, so other I want to print the, so I'm just listing this email. So for that, list dot email. So just save this and go back and check my email will become. So here I have a name field. So email, you can see, and email, all the emails which I have in the database is fetched, and also I have a phone number field. So for that I have to give list dot phone number. So here list dot phone number. So once I save this and go back and check, so just give this, you will be getting the phone number, right? So if I want to give any space, for that I'm giving NBSP. So I'm just copy paste two times here. Just save this. Now you could see some space here. So this is what we are getting the data from MongoDB through Express, and so first we have defined in database index.js, we have to give a routes. Once the route is being established, and we have to give a controller, task controller. In the task controller, we have defined mm, the find method where we can return all the data to the task. The task will return to the JSON. So in this JSON, you can see, so I got all the data in the form of JSON. In this particular URL route, I have given as API task in the router. So HTTP colon localhost 5000 is my backend. This is a route which I have given API slash task. So once I got all the response in the form of JSON, I go to the front end app.js. I want to fetch, I request this URL. So I got a response back. So the response is stored in the task. So I'm consoling this. You got this because of await method. I got unread properties. So So here I have to list all the datas in the map